Washington Mystics co-owner and entrepreneur Sheila Johnson has criticized Time magazine for its recent announcement of Athlete of the Year on its cover. In a Friday morning interview with CNN, Johnson took issue with the prominent publication for highlighting former Iowa, now Indiana Fever player Caitlin Clark, even as the league as a whole experiences increased popularity. On Tuesday, Time named 22-year-old Caitlin Clark the Times Athlete of the Year, following a record-setting college season and her status as the #1 draft pick in the WNBA. Johnson believes that the WNBA as a complete entity should have been featured on the cover as Athlete of the Year instead of singling out Clark. Why couldn't they have included the entire WNBA on that cover and stated the WNBA is the League of the Year because of all the talent we have? Johnson inquired. After a highly anticipated rookie season, Clark was honored as Rookie of the Year and selected to the All-WNBA First Team, the first rookie to achieve this since the now-retired Candace Parker in 2008. When you continually focus on one player, it fosters resentment, Johnson added. She co-owns 3 Washington sports teams, the NHL's Capitals, the NBA's Wizards, and the WNBA's Mystics, and is the co-founder of Black Entertainment Television. When questioned by the outlet, Johnson expressed her desire to be diplomatic about it, while also acknowledging the structure in which media addresses race. I've observed numerous players of color with equal talent who have not received the recognition they deserve, and I think it's time for that to change. In her Time magazine article, Clark acknowledged her privileges while giving credit to Black women players as the cornerstone of the league. She shouldn't have had to say that, Johnson countered. Despite the backlash, Clark has contributed to attracting a new audience to the WNBA. Nonetheless, the league was already experiencing exponential growth, according to League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Prior to the media's emphasis on Caitlin Clark's last 2 seasons at Iowa and her entry into the league. After years of being overlooked, the WNBA and its players gained attention in 2024. Adweek named the league the fastest-growing brand of the year. While the league has reported record-breaking viewership from regular season games, playoffs, and the finals this past season, some veteran players claim they have faced increased racism from fans both in person and on social media, including Chicago Sky's Chennedy Carter, who was harassed upon her arrival at a DC hotel this past June. Amber Cox, Indiana Fever general manager and COO, explained her controversial decision to leave Temi Fagbeni unprotected during last Friday's WNBA expansion draft. Fagbeni was among 11 WNBA players chosen to join the new WNBA team, Golden State Valkyries, and Cox has faced criticism for allowing Fagbeni to depart the organization after only 1 season. It's a tough choice, but we must all make sacrifices for expansion, Cox stated. Seeing a player leave is never pleasant. She continued, Temi was undeniably an essential contributor to our success last year. It's the cost of progress. This was indeed our decision, yet it wasn't made in isolation. Part of a broader strategy that we hope everyone will witness develop over the offseason. Fagbeni was a front-court mate of Caitlin Clark at the Fever last year, averaging 4 points per game. It was anticipated that Fagbeni would be safeguarded as the lists were not disclosed, which heightened the surprise when Golden State acquired the 32-year-old last Friday. One of the few players who actually played defense, and she wasn't protected. Please explain this, one fan commented on X in response to the Fever's announcement. That's a solid pick by them, Valkyries. She is an excellent mentor for younger players. Fever will miss you, Temi, another remarked. You're going to regret this decision in a year, one fan asserted, while another added, "It was truly exciting to witness her chemistry with Caitlin Clark. Such a disappointment." Fagbenle integrated herself into the team last season, becoming a vital part of the rotation as the Fever advanced to the playoffs. Fagbenle is a former WNBA champion with the Minnesota Lynx, having been drafted in the third round in 2017, but exited the league in 2020. The veteran played basketball in Europe for the next 3 seasons before securing a training camp contract with the Fever in 2024 and earning a roster position. On Saturday, Fagbenle shared some of her season highlights on Instagram and bid farewell to the Indiana fans. She wrote, "To my teammates, we experienced a season of revelations and growth. So proud of all y'all for persevering. Thank you for supporting one another. Ignore the outside noise. Continue growing together. Thank you for the unwavering energy, Indy fans. Y'all are fantastic. Very grateful, very blessed." Clark was disheartened to see her leave and commented on her post, "Love ya, Tim. Gonna miss you." Fever teammate Lexi Hull also shared her best wishes, replying, "Going to miss you, Tim." Johnson questioned why the publication couldn't have featured the entire WNBA on that cover, considering the league's talent. "When you repeatedly highlight just one player, it creates resentment," Johnson added, co-owner of 3 Washington sports teams, the NHL's Capitals, the NBA's Wizards, and the WNBA's Mystics. This year, the WNBA experienced a significant transformation, largely due to the influx of new talent from the draft. It's not only Caitlin Clark, but also Angel Reese. The level of talent available is remarkable. In her first season with the Indiana Fever, Clark earned the Rookie of the Year award and was selected to the All-WNBA First Team, the first rookie to achieve this since 2008. Her inaugural season has also coincided with an exceptional rise in league coverage, with viewership numbers consistently reaching new highs. The league's overall attendance rose by 48% compared to the previous year, reaching its highest point in over 20 years. This trend has been termed the Caitlin Clark effect. A consequence of Clark's achievements has been a surge in commercial partnerships, which Johnson suggests may foster resentment among Clark's fellow players. Significantly, Clark reportedly secured an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike that includes a signature shoe. This has led to criticisms from some that her race has partially influenced her commercial success, given that other Black players have not received comparable deals. They desire similar recognition. It all began with the Nike endorsement that Caitlin received, stated Johnson, America's first Black woman billionaire. There are other players expressing, "What about us?" Throughout her college and WNBA journey, Clark has engaged in an on-court rivalry with fellow star Reese. While the rivalry has contributed to the growth of the game, it has also sparked discussions about race in the USA. In September, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert likened their rivalry to that of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird's from the late 1970s and 1980s. This era famously defined the NBA, though the narrative often involved racial distinctions, contrasting a Black man against a white man. When asked if such comparisons could be made between Clark and Reese, and whether this was beneficial for the league, Sheila Johnson remarked to CNN, "I believe the media needs to exercise caution in not framing this as a racial issue, and that's crucial." She later expressed, "I'm worried about the internal conflicts and the racial implications, as this could deter advertisers from associating with us." Clark acknowledges the preferential treatment she might have experienced due to her race. In her Time interview, she remarked, "I want to claim that I've earned everything, but as a white person, I have privilege. A significant number of players in the league who have excelled have been Black players. This league has largely been built around them. The more we can acknowledge, celebrate, discuss, and encourage brands and companies to support those players who have made this league remarkable, I believe that is essential. I must keep striving to change that. Elevating Black women will create a wonderful impact. Sheila Johnson stated that Clark should not have felt compelled to address the topic, but I commend her for doing so. We must collaborate because the WNBA is at a pivotal moment where we're beginning to gain traction, and I want to maintain that progress, she remarked. Indiana Fever General Manager Amber Cox participated in an interview with the team's media division on Thursday and expressed that re-signing veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell is the organization's #1 priority during free agency. Additionally, Cox commented on the unexpected choice to leave Temi Fagbani unprotected in the latest expansion draft, alluding to larger moves ahead. WNBA free agency will not officially commence until January. Teams can extend qualifying offers and core designations from Jan. 11 to 20 and may begin negotiations with players on Jan. 21. However, no contracts can be finalized until February. 1. The Fever, following their first playoff appearance since 2016, have already made significant changes this winter by revamping their front office and hiring Stephanie White from the Connecticut Sun as their new coach. They approach free agency with $657,639 in cap space, allowing them to sign several max players. It is evident they hope one of those players will be Mitchell. The former #2 overall pick has spent her entire career with the Fever, achieving a career high of 19, 2 points per game last season while shooting 42% from beyond the arc. She is an unrestricted free agent and has expressed her desire to explore that opportunity. There are certainly many emotions and thoughts in my mind. Everything feels very new for me. I'm unsure what I need and what I will do, Mitchell stated during her exit interview in September. I've always regarded Indy as home, so it could possibly be home for me once more. However, considering my family's changing dynamics, I must prioritize what is best for me. I have to be selfish in that regard. The Fever are optimistic that White's addition, the chance to play alongside Caitlin Clark, and the opportunity to compete in the playoffs will persuade her to remain. That backcourt was among the most formidable we've seen in the WNBA, possibly in its history during the latter half of last season, Cox mentioned. We aim to reunite Caitlin and Kelsey. When I reflect on Kelsey's journey in Indiana, including her numerous challenges throughout her career, I am deeply excited for her to be in this moment and achieve substantial success. While Mitchell remains the Fever's primary focus, they will explore additional ways to enhance the team. Specifically, assistance is required in the front court, particularly after the Golden State Valkyries chose Fagbani in the recent expansion draft. The veteran established a strong connection with Clark, and the team performed significantly better with her presence on the court, though her time was limited due to various injuries. Cox suggested that larger moves are possible in that area. Several high-profile forwards will be available in free agency this winter, including Satou Sabali, who has been associated with the Fever. Temi was undoubtedly a vital contributor to last year's success, but it's the cost we endure for growth, Cox expressed. We are genuinely excited for Golden State to enter the league. It was a decision we made, but not in isolation. It's part of a broader strategy that we hope everyone will witness develop throughout the offseason. Additionally, Cox noted that the Fever, who ranked 11th in the league for defensive rating last season, 107.5, aim to strengthen their defensive capabilities and will seek 3-and-D type players. An intriguing, almost casual remark was that Cox mentioned they have been looking internationally, indicating a readiness to be innovative in their efforts to construct a championship caliber team. Ultimately, however, fit is the most crucial factor, Cox stated. You need someone who can run the floor and receive those passes that Caitlin will be delivering.